Hi, this is Marcia Kish, and today I'm going to be talking about blended learning, a fix to the COVID slide. What we're going to be exploring today is I'm going to go through three different sections. In section one, we're going to talk about the data and what the data could show looking at like the summer loss and what it might look like with the COVID slide. And I'm going to walk you through a research paper written by NWEA and looking at the scores from a traditional school year to what the scores will look like here with the COVID slide. The next thing I'm going to talk about is what we can do now to start to decrease the slide. And then finally, I'm going to do the third part of the series. I'm going to talk about what we can do in the fall. So let's get started by taking a look at the data. All right, Blended Learning, a fix to the COVID slide by Marcia Kish. You can find all this information and post to the blog by going to Blended Learning PD. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, this is part one of the three series. First, we're going to look at the data. Second part, we're going to look at what we can do now, and then what we can do in the fall. Let's take a look at the data. The resource link that I took the information from is at bit.ly/COVID slide data. This is coming from NWEA, and is taking a look at the summer loss and how we can predict what that might look like in the fall when the students come back. What I'm going to show you is the data in an animated way. This next part is going to show you from the research paper, I animated what that data would look like for an average third grader. So let's take a look at this. Here we are in September. In September, our little cliffhanger guy is going to be climbing the mountain just like you normally would. This is a traditional school year. December, that's the test scores in December. And we're seeing that the students are growing and they're increasing their knowledge as a third grader. In June, they hit their peak, the most that they will learn from third grade. Great, they are awesome, they did everything, but when they come back in September, there's always a little bit of a summer loss. And so what we're going to do now is compare that summer loss to what it's going to look like with the COVID slide. So same thing, the same third grader, same data points from the beginning of the school year to what it would look like in March. In March, he never gets to fully get to the peak of third grade. And now what we're going to see is that it's going to be a drastic drop of the information. So the students are going to lose information because they're not with a teacher on a daily basis. Yes, teachers are still teaching online and they're really supporting the students, but it's not the same. So what we're going to see now is what it would look like from a traditional summer loss to the COVID slide. The COVID slide is showing that the students are almost back to square one. Here's what the data looks like. These are the data points from NWEA. So, of course, the light green is a traditional year and the COVID-19 is a darker year. You can see that in September, they started out with a RIT score of a 185, and then they left with a 190. All right? This is math. In the research, they said, quote, they said math is going to take more impact than reading, but we will look at both of them. So here's math. Let's look at what it looks like in a sixth grade classroom. Hold on. With this COVID slide, they're saying that a sixth grade math student is going to be down by 1 point from where they started this school year. Now, of course, this is their RIT score. This is the predictions that they're making. Reading, like I said, isn't taking as big of a hit, but it is still, the students are dropping compared to what they normally would look like. And the older students aren't losing as much, but it's still a drop. And we still need to be prepared for this. So in the part two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what we can do now to help the COVID slide.